Let's start now with the presentation and activity called Weird Earth, exploring the Earth with interesting, bizarre, and odd imagery. Why use Weird Earth as a teaching method? You're fostering geographic inquiry by piquing student interest. You're fostering GIS skills, adding data, changing the base map, changing the scale, looking at relationships. You're discussing issues of scale, boundaries, human impact on the environment, ecoregions, land use, natural hazards, river systems, climate, land parcel systems, and much more. Let's start exploring. This kind of looks like a Native American chief. I called him Chief Joseph because my name is Joseph. But if you zoom out, you can kind of see that that could be the eye, there's the nose, there's the mouth, looking out this way. But as we zoom out and change the scale, it's going to disappear. In fact, if we zoom way in, you're also going to lose the image. The Socotra Islands, most alien-looking place on Earth, many believe. How did it get there? Why is it so bizarre? Why are those species, so many of them, endemic to the island? They don't occur anywhere else in the world. Here's a city in Yemen, Al-Hajara, Yemen, the walled city in the mist. Wow, fascinating looking place. Here's the Richat structure, the Eye of the Earth in Mauritania. Gosh, that looks so fascinating. How did it get there? What kinds of forces are acting on that? Was that human created or is that naturally occurring? Here's the Uyuni Salt Lake in Bolivia, largest, flattest expanse of salt anywhere in the world. Why is this place famous? Clue, the New York State Thruway is closed, man. Ah, think about it. See, this Studebaker has been spelled in large trees. What is the purpose of the track next to those trees? See this track? It's quite large and it's quite high speed and well maintained. What is it for? Is there a purpose to this lizard? See this lizard right here? How ephemeral or temporary are these images we've been looking at? For example, this volcano. What direction is the wind blowing from and to at the time of this satellite image? Is there anybody living on this? Looks like an island, right? Is there anybody living there? Is the whole volcano erupting or just a little part of it? Is it on the ring of fire? Is it on a plate boundary? What clues does language give to the bizarre? Here's something that says, "Will you marry me?" spelled on the top of this building. Also look at these street names. Where do you think this is? Scale and perspective. Here's the world-famous Hollywood sign, but if you look at it from above, as we're doing right here, you can't really even tell that that's what it is. But that is what it is. Absolutely. Scale matters. From the ground, this is the Cadillac Ranch. A bunch of Cadillacs in the ground in a place in Texas off of I-40. From above, it doesn't look like much. You can see the shadows. You can probably tell what time of day this was taken. It's the Cadillac Ranch, and this is what it looks like from the ground. Here is a large etching on the Earth's surface. What is that made out of? Stones? It's on the side of this hill, saying Phoenix that-a-way. Where do you think this is located? There's lots of funny stuff included in the bizarre. I don't know what this is. A globe man on top of a building? Where do you think this is? Take a look at the language clues. Where do you think that is? Now do you think you know where it is? Crowns. Is this a public land survey system landscape? If it was public land survey system, we wouldn't see any. We would see fewer of these roads that sort of wind in haphazard direction. We'd see more north, south, east, west aligned roads. Why is this crown here, by the way? And is it a PLSS landscape? Famous art. Okay, here is something that is modeling the Da Vinci art in this location. Fascinating. All right, music break. I was working in the GIS lab late one night when my eyes beheld an eerie sight, for my image from the cloud did arise, and suddenly, to my surprise, it did the mash up. Ah, that is the mash up song. So, we referred to this in our introduction, but here is a cry for help, SOS. But can you see the fainter SOS and SOS? Is this referenced to the ABBA song SOS, or is it just a cry for help, or is it, where is it? Take a look at these street names. Can you get a sense of where this might be? Why is it there? Can you see the American flag in this particular image? Here is a happy face on the landscape. Why is it there? And there are lots of mazes on the landscape. Corn and hedge mazes in many places. Here's another maze. Where do you think this might be? Take a look at these road names and the roundabout there. Here's a fish on land with a big P over here as well. Blue Heron Drive too. Bird and fish references. What is this? Here's a star with a circle around it and some buildings. What do you think that might be? Also, town names on the landscape. Here's something that says Bismarck. I actually know the person that helped plant the trees in one of these letters. Here's a Russian submarine right there. Why is that on land? Is that part of a museum? What about buildings in specific shapes? There's all kinds of interesting shaped buildings around the planet. Here's one that sort of looks like a lizard. Temporary fixtures. Again, how temporary or permanent are the things that we've been looking at? Here's something that says Coronado, spelled out on the beach here on Coronado Island in California, near San Diego. What is that made out of? How long will that be there? What is this? This is a wind farm. From above, you can determine which way the shadows are falling and what time of day it is. But this is one of the biggest wind farms in the world. This is the San Gorgonio wind farm off of I-10 in Southern California, just outside of Palm Springs. What is this? Is it a UFO landing spot? It just looks bizarre. These concentric circles here. Looks like it's out in the desert. So sometimes scale matters. Oftentimes scale matters. And sometimes the patterns that you see are really evident at the smaller scale like this. Here's this famous river in southern Africa that flows out into the desert in Botswana. And it basically evaporates right there. There's this huge delta that doesn't flow into a sea or an ocean, but it flows into the desert. And then it evaporates and becomes a really great place to view wildlife. In fact, it's a wildlife reserve there, the Moremi Wildlife Reserve. There are some hidden mysteries in here. This is the location of the Love Canal. This used to be filled with houses, and they mostly have been removed after the discovery of toxic chemicals that are underneath the ground here after a former industrial canal was filled over to make residential housing units in the 20th century. Let's take a look at another hidden mystery. This particular one is along the toxic theme. This is south of Louisville, Kentucky. This is one of the world-famous, unfortunately, world-famous dumping grounds for all kinds of nasty chemicals in barrels. It's now part of this golf club, but over here is where these things were stored. It's been cleaned up, but a very famous place. Mysteries of the Ancients. Here's Angkor Wat. Fascinating. But look at this big urban area right here, right adjacent to it. And here's a modern place of art. This is Carhenge in Valentine, Nebraska. Well, in Alliance, Nebraska is where it is. So a bunch of cars stuck in the ground to emulate Stonehenge, all spray painted.